Hello, welcome to Retro Core, and it's that time again where we take a look at something from China. Today we're going to take a look at the game station, otherwise known as the N1. But before we take a look at the hardware, let's take a look at the packing, because that tells us something which may lead us to think that this has some other abilities than it actually does. Or maybe it does have those abilities. Let's check out the box to see what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we are with the box. And as you can see, it's very similar to the last device we did by, yeah, that's right, PowKiddy. Or was it Kitty Cool? I can't remember what the color was called now. But anyway, it's the same company logo. So this is the N1 400 in 1. And yes, the device on the front of the box looks like the one I just showed you. But if we take a look at the side of the box here, you can clearly see that at the top, it's got a micro SD card slot, but it's not labeled at all. And the device that I have has no micro SD card slot. But it gets even more interesting when you read the actual blurb about what this thing can do. The side of the box, we've just got some basic information there. Pause the video if you would like to read that. So let's take a look at the instructions, because that's where it gets a little bit interesting. Okay, if I can get them out, that is. Before we look at the instructions, let's take a quick look at what else we get in the box. We got a USB to micro USB charging cable. That's to charge the lithium ion battery, which apparently will give you 6 hours of gameplay. We got a TV out cable, composite video only with mono sound. So we'll take a look to see how good the quality of the video is. And yes, with all these PowKiddy products, we got this little card to say it's been checked for quality. And we've got a registration card, which is actually ripped to bits. Oh well. Okay. So let's take a look at the instructions, and I'll show you the part that I'm kind of interested in. Now, as you can see, it's fairly simple. Now, here's the part I'm interested in down here. No, not down here. Down here, sorry. Basically, it says, notice, this machine is mainly subjectable for 8-bit games. Some games have no effect on the LNR keys. No mechanic quality problem. Okay, but that's the interesting part. Mainly for 8-bit games. So, can this play other formats other than the typical NES stuff? Maybe it can. So I'm going to open up the machine later on to see if the SD card slot is actually present and they just didn't put a hole in the actual casing. Now, this English instruction manual is not the greatest, but what's kind of funny is down here. So hopefully this is going to work. So I'm going to zoom into this now. Since the video is in 4K, maybe you'll be able to read it. It's kind of funny. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual system itself. As we can clearly see, it looks like a Game Boy Advance. It's in the Game Boy Advance style. The joypad is actually on an angle, but to be honest, it feels perfectly fine to use. No problems at all. The machine feels reasonable, reasonable quality. We got our B and A buttons there, which are in the correct order. We have a volume switch here, power on and off here. We've got a reset and a start button. LNR triggers. The LNR triggers are basically rapid fire versions of these buttons. And along the back we have the lithium ion battery. Okay. Which is apparently 700 milliamp. Okay. So let's power on this system and see what it's like in action. Okay, so switching it on, we get the typical menu of English and Chinese, or Chinese and English, and straight away you can see that this is higher quality than a typical Famicom clone. No way is that character from Capcom's 3 Wonders 8-bit. That is definitely 16-bit quality right there. Now, make no mistake, this basically is a Famicom on a chip solution. And the quality of the Famicom on the chip is fairly good, from what I can tell. Let's take a look at the usual favorites. This is Turtles. By the way, it does go pretty loud if we turn up the sound. So the speaker on it is pretty good. It's the Japanese version, by the way. Oh, it's this bloody Turtles. I hate this one. Horrible game. Reset there. By the way, it is the same games listed under Chinese or English. Alright, let's see. What can we choose? There's an awful lot of hacks on this. Snow Brothers kids. Oh, Batman, that's got some cool music. Let's check that out. Now, another nice thing about this machine is that it has a pretty good screen. Now, don't forget, it's still got the screen protector on it at the moment. But just take a look. Even though I tilt the screen vertically like that, you can still see it pretty well. And even if I do it this way around, you can still see it fairly well. So the screen on it is pretty clear, to be honest. It's not bad at all. There is a little bit of shimmer when you move, from left to right. But it is quite sharp. And here we are taking a look at the machine connected to the video capture card. And as you can see, the video quality is what you kind of expect for this type of machine. Not too bad. Okay, so you get the idea about this thing. It is a typical Famicom, multi-cartridge system with a lot of hacks and a lot of original games on it as well. So I'm going to quickly go through the games. If you want to see them, pause the video and you can see them, from pausing it. Twin Super Chinese, Solomon's Key there, Spider-Man. Some good games on here. Speed up a little bit, and it doesn't seem to repeat the games either, which is pretty good with one of these type of devices. And the best thing about this is it's really cheap. This was provided to us from TomTop, so I'll stick a link in the video description down below so you can actually see how much this thing cost. Okay, now what I'm intrigued to see is if this does actually have the SD card slot in it behind the casing. So let's break open the screwdriver and take a look inside. Okay, let's get it open. Okay, this is being kind of stubborn, doesn't want to open. There we go, getting that. Man, they've put this together pretty well. It doesn't come apart. Well, this thing is certainly putting up a struggle to come apart. I've got half of it out. Oh, you bastard. Good job that wasn't a knife. Is there another well, yeah, it has cut my finger a little bit. Don't know if you can see that. Oh, bloody hell, screw went right into my finger. Ow. Alright, so taking the machine apart. Little red bit of blood coming out the finger there. We can see there's not much in it on the back. Just a crystal, the battery indicator. Sorry, the battery connector I should say. A little cap there, there's the little speaker. Let's take a look at the other side of the board, which is screwed down as well. So many screws. Oh, I better make sure I got them all out this time. Yes, I have. And the whole contraption is stuck together, so the screen comes out too. Okay, so here we have it. That is our main board. Okay, and underneath that screen is the main system. So there's our main chip there. Hopefully you can see that on the video. And this is probably where all the ROMs are stored. But you can see here it has the shape for the micro SD card slot. So definitely there is a version of this machine which does contain a micro SD card. They're the actual buttons there, little tack switches, so that's pretty nice. The A and B buttons, they're not tack switches unfortunately, they're just the standard pads. But yeah, L and R triggers, they're also little tack switches, so that's very nice. So yeah, a nice little compact unit, pretty much that's all there is to see really. Very nice indeed. Okay. So there you have it. That is the N1 game station. Quite a nice little portable machine. Very compact. Gives you 6 hours of gameplay. And from what I can tell, the actual quality of the emulation, if you want to call it that, is fairly good. Not bad at all. But I tell you, there's one more thing I want to check out. I wonder if I can put ROMs onto it using the micro SD connector. Let's have a quick look, see if we can. And as expected, nope, you cannot add ROMs to this machine using the micro SD port. Oh well, it was worth a try.